Christoph, this is your turn. So we were discussing about 2D, 3D. So what else? Is there a step beyond that?
Sure there is. Will we get a clicker?
The clicker's there. Remote. That's it. It's still 1D.
All right. I've come all the way from Berlin today because what I'm going to talk about today is a first. This is the first time that I'm presenting this to the public. And I thought that the French know a good thing when they see one. So I'm looking forward to presenting you what I'm going to talk about. Now, what I'm going to talk about is the way how we all are going to use our digital environment in 5 years' time, or probably even earlier than that. But before I do that, and it's going to be a revolution, I want to talk about something entirely else. The car. Or more specifically, the concept of the car. The concept of the car is pretty old, as this authentic picture from the year 5000 BC shows. And we pretty much all know what it can do. It can go straight ahead, it can go backwards and sideways. That's pretty cool it will take you from A to B. However, it has some drawbacks. And everybody who's ever been in a traffic jam knows that. Obviously, it can't go upwards or downwards. So as good as this is, there is an improvement, and we all know what it is. We all even know showcases of it already. We know pictures. The solution to the problems is the flying car, right? And the flying car will eventually arrive, as this authentic picture from the year 5000 AD shows. However, there are some challenges to be solved, we know it, but once this arrives, it will open up a whole new arrangement of opportunities, because the flying car will also trigger developments in rear view mirrors, which now have to look upwards and downwards too. In other words, it adds the third dimension to the experience of driving a car. Now, I want you to keep this story in mind when I'm talking about what I really want to talk about. Number 2, which is usability of devices, of any sort of device. At the moment, we're very familiar with the touchscreen, and we've already heard a little bit about that early on. Now, the touchscreen is a great means how to operate digital devices. However, it has its limitation. For example, you can't use it with your gloves on, or there's only limited space on every screen. You can't really operate it for a long time because it consumes a lot of energy. So it takes you a long way, the touchscreen, but we all know there can be improvements, there will be improvements. The question is, what's going to be the flying car of digital usability? And I'm here today to tell you that this future has arrived and that it's going to change all our lives over the course of the next 5 years. This solution that I'm representing here is called Magitect, which is a combination of magic and interaction. And you will see in a second that there is really something magic about it. Everyone who has ever seen a wizard will immediately recognize it. Because Magitect is about using something that's all around us, all around the world, in order to make operations of digital devices, of taking it to a new level. This magic thing is the magnetic field of the Earth. And the beauty is that all the devices that we have already are equipped, or many of them are equipped to measure it. It's a little magnetic sensor that's in all your devices and that works so far as a compass. However, it can detect any sort of changes in the magnetic environment, and Magitect is the invention, and it's a patented invention that enables to have alterations in the magnetic field around your device to be interpreted as commands. All you need, and you will see that in a second, is a little magnet, and it will solve so many problems for you. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but first let me show a demo. We've already prepared something. I think this shows what we're talking about. The guy is fingering the guitar on the phone with the one hand and just stroking with a magnet over it, meaning that you can operate the device with both hands, and that it doesn't, I mean in this one it does, but it doesn't even need line of sight because the magnetic field will transcend all materials. It's 360 degrees around you, and it's really the answer to all the problems that we've so far had with gesture operations. You know, the guys of you who play Microsoft Kinect already know a way how this works with a camera or with infrared, but the problem is there, again, it will only work in a living room environment. It won't work really well when it's dark. It won't work in rain or sunshine, while the magnetic field is something that's everywhere and that's universal. And to do this right means to have the ultra foolproof and sturdy solution for any sorts of usability for digital devices in the future. Let me just give you a few examples. You're out there in the rain, the phone is in your breast pocket, you want to change the tune you're listening to. In the future, all you have to do is not take it out, not look at the screen, not touch it with your wet fingers or your gloves, but simply make a movement like this. And there's your next song. But even in more sophisticated environment, for example, in the operating room, when people need to stay focused, when they can't turn around and just, you know, finger down on some touch screen, they want to have something that actually does what they want if they may make a movement like, and it works. Think of firefighters who wear heavy protective gear that, you know, makes it impossible to work with a touch screen. Think obviously of the military. When you're under fire, you know, you can't turn around and say, hey, hold on for a sec, I need to touch this. You know, you want immediate action. You want it even when you have your gun in your hand. And on the very, well, day-to-day level, think of gaming. The day is not far, and I'm encouraging you game developers to think about this. The day is not far when you will operate a racing game like this, doing this. All you need for that is actually 2 magnets. On one hand, and these magnets, by the way, they can be just anything. They can be a ring, they could be your cufflinks, they could be the clasp of your watch. It could be just anything. And you will operate this game with an ease and without any virtual devices, and also very energy efficiently, because this little magnetic sensor consumes nothing in terms of energy. So that will last a long time as well. More examples. When you check out at the supermarket and you have your hands full, when you sign in at the ATM, in the future, you don't need to remember your PIN codes anymore. All you need to do is write your signature in the air. That's how precise this technology is. In cars, when you're jogging, when you're doing sports and don't have your hands free, and also for older people, for example, who don't remember things as well anymore, for them, this will also make a tremendous change. The best thing, however, as with the flying car, is that much still remains to be seen. This technology will enable so many of you to come up with new ideas that I even haven't thought about. It will revolutionize the entire way how our digital business works. And I'm really inviting you to be part of that, because currently I'm just setting up the company and I want to set it up for the industry out there. So this is me, 2006, the Great World Cup. Please approach me. This should be great for hardware developers, software developers, big companies, small companies. I want that in the next 2 or 3 years, you tell me how you want to incorporate this into your companies and drive innovation. And I'm here to even demo it, because I have a phone with me. Please approach me, talk to me, and be part of this revolution.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you very much, Christoph. So we see these things coming real, actually. So you're kind of becoming a wizard with your device then. So
that's right. I mean, really imagine people going like this, but it can be very discreet as well. You know, like small movements in front of your device. So it's very
and all
much up to
combined
you.
with virtual reality and augmented reality and all those things. I mean, we can have a tremendous way of exploring new ways of working actually. And this is what we're going to say. Okay, thank you very much, Christoph.